All right. Garrett carved through our technical difficulties there. Thank you, sir. Hey, guys, welcome to the Wood Magazine Studio Shop. I am Lucas Peters. We've got the crew here. Some of these guys are old faces, some are new faces, so we thought we would just get together and say hi and kind of give you a update on us, introduce faces, show you around the little shop here. This is our studio shop, so if you see it in the magazine, a lot of times you're seeing this shop. And let's see, let me start with, we have Jessica Eno over here. Jessica is our new art director, creative director. Yeah, we gotta get the title right.
Get it right. It's important.
So we had several retirements, including Dave, our editor-in-chief, Carl, our former art director. So Dave is camping, and Carl's golfing, and Craig is riding his motorcycle, our former managing editor. So Jessica, we stole from across the hall. So she's actually not new to Dot Meredith, our parent company, but she's new to Wood. And so I go over there quite a bit and kind of taunt them about getting to steal you. And I'm going to circle back to you in a little bit because you've got some stuff going. Dave Stone, if this guy looks familiar.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We'll start with that.
It's because you might have, some of you longtime guys might have seen him in the magazine around the
Turn of the
century.
We're
Yeah,
now
it would have
far
been
enough away that we can say turn of the
been
century. So 2000, 2004.
Yeah, so right
back in there. Yep.
Yeah. So
showed up on the cover a few times when I had less of this and more in
here.
Yeah.
I'll definitely get to the cover appearances.
Oh, great. That's what we were really hoping for.
Yeah. So and over here is John. John is can now say that he's no longer the new guy. Is that right? Yep. I don't know who fights for it though, because
I was here before Dave.
Yeah, you were here before Dave. Dave had some long ago.
I'm
probably
still the new guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Said there would be some old faces. I'm still an old face. I'm just a fresh face.
Okay. So John over here is our design editor. So a lot of the projects you see in the magazine, he has designed and built. There's a few sitting around here. Kevin is our senior design editor over here, and so he cracks the whip on John and also designs and builds projects. So these guys, you see their hands a lot, see them on covers a lot. So I'm Lucas. I have been I've been floating around for about 15 years, working on a lot of the digital side. We've got Bob Hunter couldn't be here today. He is our tools editor, so he sent us a little table saw so we can kind of talk about something he's working on. And then, let's see, Chrissy is our new admin. I think she's down visiting kids in Oklahoma, my old stomping grounds. So, and then if spin the camera around really quick so Brian doesn't run away. That's Brian. That's our sales executive. If you want to buy ads, this is the guy. This is the guy you want to talk to. So he wouldn't.
Live stream, right? Yeah.
he made the mistake of coming down here. So I want to hand off to Jess for a second because the issue, if you came here from the issue, that is issue 284, and Jess has started working her magic, and she's working on a little bit of refresh for the magazine, so I thought I'd ask you to talk about that and tell us what you're doing.
Of course, I'd be happy to. Yeah, with the whole new team, we decided it was a good time to put a refresh and update photography to the logo, which you see here. This will be the new logo that we're going to have in the December-January issue, along with everything else new that you'll see. So you'll see, here's one of our new layouts. New photography to help you visualize the projects in your space and give you ideas on, finishes and things like that. And then along with new fonts and everything that is going to help explain the projects a little bit easier and give you tips and tricks. But fear not, it's going to be the same old wood. We've still got all of the great content that you're used to. Just will look a little bit different.
Yeah. And I will say it's looking great.
Yeah. It looks great.
I will add to that. We're really excited about the way it's starting to shape up here. So in the thick of that, I did promise. So that's our current issue. This would be Dave. We'll turn to Dave a little bit here, maybe.
Just what everybody tuned in to see.
This was Dave's first appearance on the cover. I don't know if you can get in tight on that. Is there a glare? Are you okay? Yeah,
Got
there
the
we
back
go.
of my head, which
Yeah,
is really
look
the
at
most
that.
attractive
Yeah.
side,
I wanted to get the first appearance there.
Your best sign.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's what they immediately went through. So this would have been like the second or third issue that he was on the magazine. Let me show you some even better. This you're gonna have to zoom in really tight. But here's
I'm not going to help you hold it up.
Here, I know he's not going to help me. Here's a. Oh boy.
All right.
Yeah,
fine.
you got
Okay.
to. I've only got one hand. There's a picture there of Dave staring lovingly at wood.
Longingly, I clearly like this board.
He
a lot.
loved that
Yep.
board.
I please don't want you to forget that Mr. Boyle's also on the cover of this one.
Kevin's on the cover there.
Kevin and I, he gets two for each of my one.
Here, you can hold this.
Oh wow.
Read the caption on that one.
Do I really want to read the caption?
Yeah.
The Ultimate Cheap Guy's Workshop? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Cheap woodworker smiles while dreaming up more money saving schemes.
Yeah. So
that's true. Look, you can tell.
I think you wrote this article
very
too.
happy about it.
You
I'm sure I
wrote
did.
your own
I'm
caption.
I'm sure
you
that,
wrote your own caption.
Yeah,
there.
I'm sure that all of that wittiness came right out of me.
Yeah.
So thank you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that you've brought this all up today, because it's going to give everybody a lot more faith in me.
Yeah. So you pull out your old issues about the 2001, 2004. Get a lot more of that. Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Yeah. So
I'm super excited to be back at Wood. Such a great magazine. I love the way we deliver projects and techniques and what we do, and with what Jess was talking about, just really trying to clean it up, make everything even easier to understand, and it's going to be great.
And you guys, if you have questions, drop them in the chat. I'm kind of watching the chat here, and Bob is he couldn't make it today, but he's in the chat. So if he's answering questions for you there. So say hi to Bob in the chat, and if he'll answer some of those, and we will try to get around to some of those. But why don't we start off with Kevin or John? Did you want to? John?
Dave.
Dave. Oh, Dave. Okay. Yeah, let's do Dave. Okay, so you guys,
idea.
yeah, good idea. You guys, so
We've got him warmed. You've got him warmed.
got him warmed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we will have issue 285. We are actually putting that one to bed right now, and so one of the things that's coming out, Bob did a little tool test here, and so Dave's going to talk a little bit about what you can expect.
Yeah, so not even a little tool test. Bob took a look at portable table saws. So portable meaning you might know them as job site saws. They're not really benchtop saws. They had to meet some criteria to get in. They're all standard 110 powered. They all have a folding stand, most of which roll. But one of the key criteria is we wanted to see, not just as a table saw, but as your table saw, could they hold up and have the capacity that you needed? So all of them needed to be able to rip at least 24 inches wide, so you could cut a full-size sheet of plywood and rip it in half lengthwise. And we went through them and looked at everything that you'd want to know about a table saw. How accurate is the rip fence? How adjustable is the rip fence? Are the guards high quality? Some of these we're getting to the point where we're getting riving knives and other big saw features in portable saws. And then, of course, went through all of the things. How do they set up? How do you change blades? All of the, all the things you do on a day-to-day basis. And being portable, we wanted to know if they have the power. So we looked extensively at the power and trying to see if they could hold up. And we won't spoil anything to say what saws did best and what ones might not have done as well, but we can say they work, they held up. you'll find some cool stuff and be interested in, some of the things that portable saws have to do that others don't is have storage for everything, and how does that work? And so a lot to uncover. We ended up with a dozen saws, I believe, in this test, and yeah, you'll see that in the November issue.
Yeah, really extensive.
Yeah, really extensive testing. They did a lot. We have some primary ratings that we always go through, and it's power and capacity and rip fence accuracy and all those things. But then, Bob always really digs in deep and looks at all the other things that you'd want to know about that you won't find in the reviews and the ratings.
He goes all the way down to, he talks about how well the manual was.
Yeah, did the manual work? Does the cord wrap work? When you roll it around, do things stay put or fall off?
Really goes into some detail.
A whole lot of stuff, and discovery that there's some very capable saws out there in this category.
In this category.
Yeah.
Very nice. And then, John, you're up on your feet. You have some projects you're cooking up for what issue? 285 as well, or is this 286?
286 as we go here in December, January.
Okay, yeah.
So actually brought some projects down from the November issue and December, January, and these are kind of a gift idea projects.
So yeah, we don't know the numbers. Just call them out as they are.
Yeah. So gift projects, guys. It's time to start making gifts if you haven't.
For what?
For holidays. For Christmas. For
some of us have people that we like and that like us. And we actually try to please them with gifts. So it's crazy how it works.
Explain this in issue planning, John.
So we have a jewelry box. The key feature of this is double layer, so we have a sliding tray on this guy. So we are doing a kit with this. It'll have 4 different inserts that you can buy. And then I think the neat part is underneath, you can pull these trays out, and there is hidden storage in the very bottom.
Not hidden anymore.
Not hidden anymore.
Sorry, you gave it away, guys.
So
all the way.
it's technically triple layer, but is that 85?
286. 286.
December, January.
Yep.
So,
but you'll still get before the end of the year.
Yeah, you will. You will have time to build this before.
Gift.
Yeah. 36 hours you should be done. So we got that. What?
What's your finish recommendation for a 36-hour build?
A Vaseline. Okay.
Why, thank you, John. This is a gift. That's how this gift thing works.
I don't know that we did a YouTube video on this as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is 85. We did a jack plane.
Next issue you'll get.
Next issue you get, okay. So this particular one is the one that'll show up in the magazine. And then this one we did for our YouTube video, where you can see me in person making the thing. I had made, actually, remember when we used to have those Christmas giveaways? Or we used to have the Christmas party, and then we had to draw names,
the little white
and we kept drawing names
also,
until Dave got what he wanted.
Yeah, that's also gift giving.
Yeah.
Another example.
I'm catching on. I'm catching on.
Another example there, John.
We have a theme.
So I had made one of these for that because I wasn't buying anything. And I think Bob got that, and then he brought a picture in, and it showed up in issue planning, so we decided to do this. So if you have a blade and chip breaker set, you can certainly use your own. We have some sources here where you can buy this. Well, one thing I did want to point out on this, I call it a Razee style. Some people would call it a Razee. Kind of modeled after the back of ships, where they would cut down the back to bring the weight down. But what it does is it brings your pushing hand a little down on the plane. A lot of times with the taller, solid wooden body planes, your hands get so high on the tool, it gets hard to push. So I think it's just a nice, comfortable tool with a neat feature to do that. So we did the jack plane size. This has a 2-inch blade, and it would be mostly used like this for, you can flatten boards. You can surface boards. This one I have set up a little bit aggressive to take a thicker shaving, but it still does a really nice job. Another thing we did with this, a lot of planes come with their blade set at a common pitch, which is 45 degrees. This one is pitched up 5 degrees, so it's a 50-degree or York body pitch, so it does better on hardwoods, which I think does a little better with furniture. So, yeah, just a fun tool. It's light in the hand. It does take a little bit of coercing as far as adjustments go. So we do have a strike button on it, and that will remove your blade. It's held in place with a cross pin right here. And kind of the neat thing on this, I don't know if it shows up on film, is this is already moved with seasonal humidity.
Oh, yeah.
So the body has actually gotten a little bit wider. Typically you want to try to get quarter sawn wood, so your growth rings are going this way. So the body will expand and contract this way, but it won't move much up and down. So
I think it was nice because, I mean, this is almost a scrap wood project. I mean, you're not using
yeah.
a lot of, but you can
Yeah.
really grow your
Yeah,
plane collection. With,
I found most of that wood in a ditch. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's most of where we source our source our materials.
the materials list is really short for this one.
Yeah.
So if you haven't used this before,
Carefully has a mallet.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna lock the blade. If I want to make the blade stick out more on the bottom, I obviously can tap on the top of the blade, sight down the tool, and then see how I'm doing. You can also hit the toe of the plane. That will make the blade stick out more. If you hit the heel, unfortunately with this Resi style, you don't have as big of a target, but that will actually bring the blade back a little bit. And I am using a larger mallet.
I saw that.
One thing as you get with larger bench planes, if you don't have enough mass when you hit it, it doesn't do anything. So people will really run into this if you get like a 24-inch joiner. You hit it with a little mallet and there just isn't enough shock value to get it to do what you want. So. Oop. So now I have one corner sticking out more than the other. Well, this will be a pretty fine shaving, but we're back in business. So that is that project. And again, we have a video coming, show the whole thing.
Yeah.
This one is finished in wax, so you can wipe that down 5 minutes before you give it away.
There you go. Yeah. Put that, drop it right in the box.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming.
You don't get to leave. Sorry.
Let's
can-
see. What else do we
What
have
do
that
we
John
else
can talk about?
Do you want to do those and I'll recover?
Sure. So we just recently, and again, I think this is going to be kind of the December-January issue. So maybe a little bit more panic on getting this one done. Although you'll probably get that sometime in November, I'm guessing.
That is correct.
Always a great gift idea. Picture frames, obviously they go with anybody's house, anybody's decor. The idea behind this, as you can see, it's a single frame that we're just making multiples of, and all the same size, just kind of placed on here differently, different elevations to give it a little texture. In this issue, we have also, just by chance, a mitering jig, and the idea behind this is not new. I think John has a version of this and has had a version of this probably for 5 years. I don't think we've ever put it in the magazine, but what's unique about this is you can cut multiple miters at one time. This is set up for your table saw, for your miter slot. I've got it sitting there so it'll sit flat for me, but basically what we're doing is you're cutting all your frame pieces to the exact length that they will be. And then you can stack those pieces, if that's your frame, you're stacking it in that jig. So that point sits down on top of your saw top. I do use a sacrificial piece on the back side of that. I can clamp this in place, and then with one pass, I'm making all 4 miters on that end. flip it over, cut the other 4 miters, and you've got this in 2 cuts instead of 60 cuts for all of that. So you're cutting down on your miter time at the saw considerably with a jig like this.
And plus, you're making it a lot easier to cut them all to the same length. And
Yeah. I mean, this will work for small frames. This may not work for big frames. Obviously, the thickness of your frame material is going to make a difference because it's the height of your saw blade that's going to be able to cut that. Length, obviously, there's not really any restrictions on that. Mainly the thickness of or the width of your material, not thickness of material. So, great jig for that. One thing I'll say, when setting this jig up, there's some great how-to shots on how I made this to make this accurate the first time, and there's some great tips in the magazine. But one thing I would recommend doing is getting your hands on one of these, and it's just a digital. There's several manufacturers, but it's a digital readout, and it gets you within 1/10 of a degree. And where people don't think that's a big difference, multiply that 1/10 times 4, and you're going to have some problems. So why I say that is if you don't get your jig absolutely perfect dead on 45, you can adjust your blade off of vertical to then cut a perfect 45. So don't worry if you don't get this perfect. If you have something like this, you can tune your blade to make that 45. One other thing that this jig excels at, which it can do some things that no other piece of equipment in your shop can very well, is cut long bevels on pieces that you might use for a trimmer on a base of a cabinet. I didn't make this 8 foot long because I didn't want to hit the ceiling, but literally you probably could. Because you could put this in here, clamp it down, make a nice clean cut. And this is something you can't do on your miter saw because you can't cut that tall. You could cut this on your table saw, but you're trying to manage a really long piece with your miter gauge, and that thing kind of wants to move around on you. So that's a really great use for this jig. So anyway, it's kind of multi-use.
Yeah, dual purpose.
Yep,
really
pretty
nice.
excited about it. And for small pieces, I think it really, really makes a lot of sense. So if you're into picture framing or making small boxes, I think you're going to like this.
Yep,
So.
and the build's really easy. It's probably got all the 3/4 plywood that you need for it sitting around
Yeah,
in a
yep,
partial
yeah,
sheet
again.
somewhere.
And
Scrap
this
a
is
hardwood or
this is
two,
made
yeah.
of walnut, so make sure you use that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Runner is walnut, and this is walnut. That's a
No
must.
other hardwood will do, right?
Yep.
It's got to be walnut. That's
no.
it.
Nothing else.
Cocobolo is okay
Can I dye some maple?
if you want to.
Okay.
Okay.
But, yeah, these are a couple. They're in the same issue. So even if you don't build the picture frames, I think this is a jig that you'll find useful in the shop for sure.
So dreaded question in the chat here.
No questions are dreaded.
Oh yeah, no. You'll change your tune afterward.
Do I put the jig away?
Yeah, we'll come back to you. Question is, will you be doing Weekend with Wood in the future? So the answer to that is not going to say never, but there's obviously been some pretty big setbacks with COVID and the way of the world, and frankly, we've been purchased by a new company that's making a different use of our building space. So where we had a lot of space to have classrooms and things like that, we may not have as much. So it's on pause. Again, never want to say never, but that's kind of where we're at for now until further notice. So we love meeting all you guys for Weekend with Wood, and I'd love to do it again. One of the things we're trying to do, maybe a little more, fingers crossed, is this type of situation, more video, maybe a little more live stream, so we can kind of get back to chatting with you guys. So hopefully we're it's not the same thing, but maybe a little bit of a substitute for now. So that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing about the miter machine.
Did you not want me to type that question in there? Or was that...
Okay, didn't we block him? So, yeah, there we go. What did you have another one, or we?
No,
John.
no.
John wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh, John, look at John.
John's set up. He's ready to go.
Yeah. Oh, you want to talk about the clock?
I want to talk about the clock.
This thing's gorgeous.
You can complete this project in 4 hours or less.
This just turned out.
For 1 week, and you got the jewelry box and it's done. Perfect.
So this is called, it seemed like a great idea at the time. And we actually partnered with, at the time.
Good job. Yeah.
Are you writing this
Why
down?
aren't you writing our titles, John?
Time to rethink the project. We're gonna stay flow now.
So the basic clock actually comes to us from John Schlabaugh of the Schlabaugh and Sons. So this is their prairie style clock that I have, again,
put some time into it?
put some time into.
Yeah.
So the base clock itself is red oak, and we've actually used a Cabernet stain, which is kind of cool. It's a water-based, eco-friendly one that we tried for the first time, and we're really impressed with. But what we probably want to talk about is this little detail. So this is a parquet feature, and I have a couple of pieces, maybe, to show off what kind of is going on.
Oh, yeah.
So in the magazine, there should be a full-size pattern
There is.
Yes.
And it is
Phew.
full size.
It is full size.
on how to make this guy. But what the pattern will look like, it'll just be half of this. So it'll just be like this side. Because what we're doing here is we're gluing together strips 3/4 of an inch thick, and then we're resawing this panel and opening it like a book to get this book matched feature. The woods are maple, cherry, beech, walnut, and anything you can find that looks red. We've used, one was Paduke, one we did, was it Bloodwood?
I can't remember. I know Paduke is what we spec.
Paduke is
That's
in
what
the.
you see in the magazine.
Okay, so
yeah.
Paduke's in the magazine. I think this one might be Bloodwood. So anyway, and really all it is strips that are mitered together. But I just wanted to kind of run through the sequence of how this is done. So obviously in the magazine, the pattern's going to be black and white or shaded, and then.
No, full color.
Is it full color?
We print in color these days. We're getting pretty advanced.
Oh my gosh. I, like you folks, am surprised when I get the magazine. 'Cause
The new guy should have known that we're
the,
in color.
No, it is. Yeah, it is.
It is in color.
And the nice thing is you'll be able to lay your pieces. Since it's a full-size pattern, you know, it's a good way to organize. I'm stealing John's thunder, but you'll be able
Yeah.
to lay your pieces out right on the pattern as you make them.
So if it's like that, can you still see it?
You mean to hold it?
No, I need to lace things out on it.
Okay, that's your pattern.
Yeah, that's my pattern now because we haven't printed yet.
Good point.
So anyway, so what I would typically do is actually start off cutting all of these pieces about 1/4 inch longer than what they're spec'd for. And maybe you can kind of see where I'm going with this is I'm building up these rows to work my way across the panel. So in this instance, I've gotten to here. And again, we only have to get to here, so it's only 2 more rows. Part of the struggle here is we have a lot of little pieces. So what I want to try to do is combine 2 or 3 together so I can safely machine them. So typically what I'm doing is I'm starting off with longer stock, and I think I have, thank you, sir.
You're
that-
very welcome.
You can pass the whole.
The whole thing?
Get
All
into
right.
blue. So typically, like this piece right here, I'm starting off with a longer piece. I'm mitering that at the miter saw, table saw, whatever. And then I'm lopping it off 1/4 inch long, and I need to combine these 2 pieces. So do you want to see gluing first or trimming up first? Probably gluing, right? Good talk.
Gluing.
Are you here?
I need a saw, or yeah, that and a chisel. And 2 clamps. Where'd I put the
Below? Here?
Oh, I put the clamps right back there.
Here we
I'm
go.
sorry.
Nope, you're good.
Okay.
You go back over there.
Back here.
I'll get these for you.
Vanna over
I
here.
have to. I
has
have
do
to be
that.
useful somehow.
So the first thing I actually do is a glue size on this. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little glue on the end, and that's actually a lot of glue. And then with my little short fingers, I'm just going to press these together and clamp it with my hands. Did I lose that towel? Thank you, sir. And now you can see it fell apart, but I wanted to do that. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the glue to soak into the end grain, because that end grain being uncovered is just drinking it up. Then I go back through with my glue scraping chisel, which the best source of a good glue scraping chisel is you just go over to Kevin's side of the workshop and get a chisel.
Next
They're
time,
all very well experienced.
next time we'll live stream from Kevin's side of the shop upstairs.
So now basically what we've done is we've filled that end grain. So now when I glue it for the final time, there will actually be something holding this together. Now to clamp this, I found the best way to do it is to get a parallel clamp, something with a wide jaw, where I can actually get in and hold that across the miter, and then come across it. Could I get a 12-inch? Is this even 6? Yeah, thank you. So now I can come across that, and then what I do, this clamp will exert a lot more force than this clamp, so I want to try to pull this together as much as I can with this clamp, and then finish off with this guy, and that'll hold it flat. So that is how I'm getting these pieces. And again, once I get something longer with a handle, then I can go back through, mark that, cut the miter on the other end, and keep building these pieces together. So
why did we not use veneer is the question.
what's veneer?
Let's see.
Ooh, to do that with veneer? That would hurt.
That's what John wants to do next.
Oh, okay, because we were saving it for
Yeah.
the next.
The next, his
We
next,
do have-
his next project.
We have veneer coming up.
Well, it's a very different technique.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it certainly could be done that way.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
I mean,
and
this is-
this might be a little
this
easier
is
to get tight.
parquetry.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd call that marquetry.
Yeah, probably. That would be the
So-
difference.
Yeah.
A different technique, but certainly something we could explore.
And these questions are great. They're leading to our finale, but we'll get there.
Oh, yeah.
I
No,
always
that,
love
Rob.
to bring out a shooting board. Usually when we do, someone named Jesus always calls or writes in to tell us that he invented this, and that's okay. This was a project probably 8 to 10 years ago, and it's an adjustable shooting board, so you can do all kinds of angles with it. So I guess this was kind of our miters show.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Of
We
how
themed
to
it.
do that.
Yeah.
This piece is actually sacrificial. It's just a backer board. Usually I set this with a miter square, but for the purposes of this, we're doing just set it by eye. So after I cut these on the miter saw, I will go back through and actually trim it up with a plane. So this is kind of a specialty setup. Oh. But you're just shaving just a little bit off the end of these. And that's how I'm getting this nice,
It's really sharp.
really sharp,
Joint, yeah.
really smooth, that's going to hold glue very well. And then when it comes time to miter the ends of these other little pieces, I can take it to my shooting board like
Yep.
this. For the sake of this, I tried to go, oh, let's make a cheap shooting board. And it works. So the first thing I did was I grabbed the cheapest little block plane I could find. So I got this at an estate sale for about $8. It's just a Stanley 9.5. The problem with this one is it's not square. So a plane that you're using for shooting, you want these two faces to be square. So I adjusted the blade, was working on it, but what got me was this little lateral adjuster on the back. As you're pushing this through, you're pushing on the lateral adjuster, and your blade's going all over the place. So then I moved to this Lee Nielsen, which does what it's supposed to do. Did I throw that
And
piece
I
of
like
wood?
using that one better too.
Yeah, I see you also drive nails with
That
it.
plane.
Yeah.
for
Until it gets dull.
for taking off.
And then I put it back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just a super little setup,
So the cheap jig, but it didn't really work with the cheap.
not the cheap plane.
Yeah.
Not this particular cheap
Yeah,
plane.
yeah.
If I had a 60.5, it probably would work.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my message is you don't have to invest in high dollar just to try to build that.
Yeah.
You can kind of work with what you have. So this is just a 1/4-inch sheet of plywood with an 1/8-inch, half-inch sheet of plywood with a 1/4-inch sheet of plywood. This is just a cleat
so you
glued
just
on.
made a shelf, yeah.
This is a cleat glued on. So what's happening with these planes is the blade doesn't come all the way to the edge. So it's actually this little part right here that's riding against that shelf, and that's why it doesn't keep just shaving away. It's actually riding in there. And then as you use it, this might wear, so you can make adjustments as needed. But you can use it with a little block plane. It doesn't have quite the mass to just plow right through hard maple, but it certainly works. And then when you get it done, you can just throw it away. And Kevin has come up with a solution for all of this, of kind of an end around of, it's let's say it's the 24th, and we just do that.
There you go. Christmas Eve, and you just need to do that.
Right there.
Now,
So-
there really was a question about the finish. Is there anything special you're doing with the finish that makes that color pop like that?
It is that stain. You remember, is it Eco?
Now, give me a moment and I'll look it up.
I think it is Eco Stain.
It's really cool because instead of a can, it comes in a bag, and you're just supposed to knead it up, and
Well,
you can actually see the.
So I think they were. So that's for this part of the clock, right?
Yeah.
Was there anything on the panel though that not that panel?
just
the-
tears.
Just tears. Finish with John's tears.
Yeah.
That's very expensive. We'll have those in the wood store.
Limited supply.
Limited supply. We have a lot of them.
Yeah. No, it's just spray lacquer.
Just spray lacquer,
Spray
okay.
lacquer out of a can.
Yeah.
Again, we like the stain because it's water-based. It dries in minutes.
Yeah.
And then you can start top coating right there. Part of the reason this has this nice shine is all of this is close grain wood. So
right.
unlike the oak where it has the open
open
pores,
pores,
it will give a little bit more of a
Yeah.
shine.
And with the lacquer, that's going to dry, and you can build a finish pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
And water-based stain is going to dry pretty fast, so you can finish it pretty.
3 coats in a couple hours.
Yeah.
What you can pull off on the side of the road, put a coat on, drive
Yeah.
20 minutes.
And if you drop off the present and aren't there when they open it up, you don't have to be responsible for the fumes. Right?
I was going to say, if you've never driven to Grandma's house with a car full of
With a
lacquer
lot of
fumes, you
fumes,
just
yeah,
don't know
yeah,
what you're
yeah.
missing.
I
too.
think the
Yeah.
fumes are part of the experience.
Okay, yeah. Maybe that helps you get through the Christmas dinner with the relatives, right?
Where else you can watch YouTube all day, and where else are you going to get these deep insights? I mean, really. So this was Pure Color. Pure Color Concerto.
This is
Yes, Pure Color, the brand, Concerto, the color.
yeah, very nice. It's very striking. The colors on that.
Yeah,
Are
well,
very,
and
very
one thing I'll mention about the this water-based stain, and they are by no means sponsoring this. It is one of the first water-based stains I've used that doesn't raise the grain on oak woods, and that is something that's pretty hard to find. So they are not the least expensive stain out there, but it is a high-quality stain, and they do have some. I mean, really premium colors that you really can't get without using dyes and a stain mix. Usually, this a lot of times it's straight out of the bag. the
Well, yeah, and you
colors.
said this is powdered, right?
No, it's liquid.
Oh, it is liquid. Oh, that's right, but it's bagged. Yeah, yeah.
And you can kind of see it has lots of solids in it.
Yeah,
That
a
you
lot
kinda mix up.
Squish it
of
around.
pigment,
Yeah.
and it just you do have to stir it up each time, just like you should any stain, a can stain. But
That probably keeps it fresh longer.
great
you
product.
think?
That's the good thing about it is you just pour out what you need and then it
Yeah.
seals because you can extract the air out of the bag.
Yep.
Yep.
And then one question in the chat said that is requesting that Jess make the magazine augmented reality. So we'll ask you to do this. We'll talk about this later.
I thought she's already doing that.
Yeah, no, it's just to see a project in your home or with a different stain, etc. So we'll get her right on that.
Yes.
I'm not going to let her have the microphone right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll have her express her opinion on that when we're not live.
Right.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
well, she does get the last look at the print pages, so she can probably say whatever she wants and change my editor's column to
Right.
yeah. So, well, guys, thanks for coming out and visiting us, and we'll try to do this again. This is fun. We like to talk to you. We like to show you what's coming up, and keep sending the questions. If you got questions that didn't get answered here, woodmail@woodmagazine.com, and we'll get on them. Keep an eye out for the next issue is 285.
285 November, and
issue.
that will be hitting you. One moment, please. See, I should be prepared for so many things.
Are you making promises for the Postal Service?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. By 10 a.m. on. Yeah. October
18th-ish. Yeah.
Yep, 18th-ish.
Yeah.
But okay, maybe 10:15 a.m. But
So
definitely on that date.
Yep. So keep an eye out. Keep the questions coming. Watch the YouTube channel. Subscribe. And subscribe to the magazine if you haven't. You can find a link in the YouTube description here. So.
And please find covers or photos anywhere in the magazine of Lucas, so that
rare.
we can mock those
They're
as well.
very, very rare. Very, very rare. So.
Can't waste that beauty.
All right.
Thanks.